Biblical Geography, Lecture 14, the Persian Empire. But first, we must talk briefly about, I'll steal some of these from you, thank you. Oh, you got them. So, online it should be there when you're looking at this. We're going to have a test on finding locations on the map, on maps. All right, this is what I put together on my own little self. One, it says at the top, study guide, map exam number 1 study guide. First page should look something like that. You've got, so it says, be able to label the following locations. Egypt, Sinai Peninsula, it gives them all. So you look on there and you go, Egypt. Well, Egypt, it's easy, it says Egypt. So it's not really a challenge to you. So I gave you one that is, yeah, it's the same, it's just smaller. There it is. That is a little different color, but it's the same thing. That has numbers, and then you got to go with names. So like Egypt, 1. That's Egypt. Okay, Sinai Peninsula. It's right there. How do you know? Because it says it right there. That's Sinai. How about Jordan? Jordan. Right there. Oh, it's not numbered though. Oh no, it's right here. 4. Number 4, Jordan. Yes. So on a test, I'm going to assume that I'm going to have the same exact sheet of paper for a test. That's my assumption. Don't just memorize 4 is Jordan. 4 is Jordan. Memorize the location is Jordan. Forget the number. That's not going to help you in life, these goons. All right, that's how this goes.
Yeah, switch the numbers.
Yeah, okay, I'll switch the numbers. That's a good idea. Then you'll be going, be like Eric going, 1 is always going to be this, 2 is always that. You don't even have to look at it. Just kind of
Right.
Okay, our lecture begins. The century from 600 to 500 BC, I know it well, brought tumultuous changes to the Near East. 4 major powers dominated the political landscape at the beginning of the century. The Neo-Babylonian Empire, we learned that from last lecture, extended across Mesopotamia and the Levant. Let's look at the map. So the Neo-Babylonian Empire doesn't really say Neo-Babylonian here, but look where Babylonia is. Across Mesopotamia and the Levant, way down along the Red Sea there. So it covers Canaan land and a lot more. And all the way out, far, I don't even know what countries they are today. I guess Iran and Saudi Arabia. This covers a lot of different areas. So there's a map to look at. It kind of helps you go, hey, yeah. The Medes occupied the territories north of Mesopotamia. So Mesopotamia is where that red arrow line goes across, like Gozan and Haran and Nineveh, Arbela. So above that is north of Mesopotamia. The Medes occupied up there. So you see Media. What color is that? Yellow? Yellow, okay. So they got that area, so that makes sense. Okay, governing their empire from their capital at Ecbatana. Where's Ecbatana? You see it?
There's a box right above it.
Yeah, Ecbatana. There she blows. Under Amasis, King Amasis, Egypt prospered, while continuing to threaten Babylonian interests in the southern Levant. So you can see how Canaan's kind of out of the picture. It's Babylonia against Egypt. Stay away from us. Okay, we will. Beyond the western limits of the Median Empire lay the kingdom of Lydia, with its capital at Sardis. See Lydia? And there's Sardis. You say, but that's not how it looks now on the map. The map's different. What happened? Okay, they had this, yeah, the map's changed, don't they? Look at the USSR. Where's that at? Does that exist anymore?
Yeah, it's just not as big as it is.
Oh, I don't see it on here anymore.
There's a big orange thing at the bottom.
That says Russia.
It's Russia, it's not the USSR.
Yeah.
There are no Soviet.
It's still
No, it's not. Well, I don't know anything. Never mind. But you do know things. Shouldn't put you down quite that far. He knows some things. It's like Sarah Palin. Didn't she get quizzed on that? And she said, you know, the USSR is a very strategic, it's not in existence anymore. Whoopsie. Within decades, all 4 of these powers, the Babylonian, the Medes, the Egypt, and the Lydian, would be conquered by a new force. A new force, my friends. The Persians. Resulting in the formation of the largest empire the Near East ever produced, the Persian Empire. You can see Persia down there at the right bottom at that point. But later it would control the entire region. For the Jews, these changes meant an end to the exile and restoration to their ancestral home. The Persian peoples migrated into southwestern Iran, settling inland from the Persian Gulf. Cyrus II the Great was a son of Cambyses I and the Median princess Mandane, daughter of the great Median king Mundane. Astyages. Astyages. I don't have to know it, never mind. Thus Cyrus was born to a marriage representing both Persian and Median royal houses. Okay. If you study history, it matters some. Cyrus began his rapid rise to power as the king of Anshan. He overthrew his Median overlord Astyages and plundered the Median capital Ecbatana. In 550 BC, does that start with a sentence? Okay. In 550 BC, Cyrus established his capital at Pasargadae, perhaps to commemorate a nearby victory over Median forces. Cyrus then moved against the Lydian king Croesus, achieving final victory in 546 BC when Sardis fell to the Persian forces. The Ionian Greek cities of Western Asia Minor also, under a force of arms, came under Persian control. Subjection of the Ionians by Cyrus began a period of great tensions between the Greeks and the Persians. So Persia went all the way up to Lydia, the Persian Empire. Okay, you can keep that map out if you want. The end of the Babylonian Empire came quickly. So we had the Babylonian Empire going on for a spell. Then comes what? Another warlord to control the entire region, the Persian Empire. The Persian army, aided by Babylonian defections, defeated the Babylonian army at Opis. Let's find that on the Tigris River. You see that on the first map? Opis in Babylonia on the Tigris River. There's where it happened. That was it. Cyrus defeats the Babylonian army. So Cyrus was a Persian guy. Although hastily fortified by Nabonidus, Babylon fell shortly thereafter. In late October 539, Cyrus entered Babylon, according to his own accounts, as a liberator of the oppressed peoples of the city. Oh, yes. Darius proved to be the ablest administrator of all Persian rulers. He organized the empire into 20 large regions called satrapies, each region governed by a satrap. This is a guy, this is basically a rap artist that would sing sitting down. Or this does it on Saturday. That's a good point too. It might be both of those. We have to do some further research. Xerxes is best known to Bible students as the Persian king Ahasuerus in the book of Esther. Xerxes did not possess the abilities of his father, Xerxes I, and his accomplishments were minimal, though he did manage to crush revolts in Babylon and Egypt. Babylon was sacked by Xerxes in 482, although he continued construction of Persepolis. Xerxes later died in a pious coup in 555. You can tell I don't really care about that. Artaxerxes I Longomanus, way too long of a name, succeeded his father Xerxes in 465. Artaxerxes faced serious threats from Athens and Egypt. The mission of Nehemiah, authorized by the Persian king, likely reflects the strategic value of southern Palestine and control of the major routes leading to Egypt. So they didn't like Egypt, so Nehemiah was, sponsored to go kind of shore up the Jews and that sort of thing people in Palestine. Why? Because Egypt, they get strong there. Going on. Artaxerxes needed the loyalty of the Jews in those troubled days. His death in 425 BC likely marked the end of the Persian kings who played roles in the biblical drama. So name some Persian kings that played roles in all this. We've just covered.
Darius.
Okay, Darius.
Cyrus.
And Xerxes or Ahasuerus. Ahasuerus, all right. The return of the Jewish exiles. The return of the Jewish exiles. What two books of the Bible does that cover? Or kind of cover? Ezra and Nehemiah. The conquest of Babylon by Cyrus the Great in 539 brought the dawn of a new day for the Jewish exiles. Someone read the red?
Isaiah called Cyrus the Lord's anointed, who would be God's chosen instrument to restore the exiles to their ancestral homeland.
Not ancestral. ancestral homeland. Very good. You didn't say that anyways, but just to make sure people understood that. So Isaiah was saying that they called Cyrus the Lord's anointed. Several times the Bible mentions an edict Cyrus issued in 538 allowing the Jews two privileges. First, those who so desired could return to Judah. Second, Cyrus commanded that the Jerusalem temple be rebuilt and directed funds from the royal treasury be given to support the project. What to God that would happen today? From some government, give money to the Jews, rebuild the temple. We'll fund it. Sounds interesting. A smaller map now. You have to get your goggles going here. Is this the same map? No. Okay, I'm sorry. That's the Persian Empire. I'm so sorry, I didn't tell you that ahead of time. So you look at how much they took over, and it's basically everything. Though they went all the way up to Libya.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, they covered. But why didn't they go into the Syro-Arabian desert? Were they scared? The armies were too great there?
It's just the desert.
Yeah, there's no one there. Why waste your time? It's a desert wasteland.
Tranquil.
Yeah.
That's why
And
people
there's sea
like-
otters. Tarantulas and sea otters.
That's why people like to romp through Palestine,
Yeah.
because it was the better road.
Yeah, very true. All right. An initial group of stout-hearted exiles set off for Judah shortly after the edict of 538. Sheshbazzar, a prince of Judah, led the first returnees on the long and difficult trek homeward. That's according to the Bible. Sheshbazzar. Habazar. Altogether, the journey would exceed 1,000 miles. From where? Babylon, like Babylon area. So follow that, or you can go to the bigger map, go from Babylon. That's 1,000 miles, really? Wow. Okay. Looks like it's about 2 inches to me. All right. Ezra 2 and Nehemiah 7 lists a total of 42,360 returnees. Someone who's got excellent ability to pronounce words, go for this next section.
Two new leaders of the Jewish community, Zerubbabel and Joshua, eventually emerged. Zerubbabel was another son of Jehoiakim and nephew of Sheshbazzar. Spurred on by the prophetic voices of Haggai and Zechariah in 520 BC, Zerubbabel led the people of Judah to complete the building of the temple. The high priest Joshua gave invaluable assistance.
Some pronounce that name as Zerubbabel or Zerubbabel. Any one of those could be right without a self-pronouncing Bible in front of me. Okay, so very good. Thank you. Know the red part there. It's in the Bible. He did. The high priest Joshua gave invaluable assistance in this. Judah was a small province in the great behemoth of the Persian Empire. Persian kings divided the empire into satrapies, larger administrative units governed by a royal official called a satrap. Palestine was part of the fifth satrapy, known as Beyond the River. Strange name, huh? Beyond the River, which referred to the lands lying west of the Euphrates River, which included Syria, Palestine, Phoenicia, and Cyprus. So this term Beyond the River, because it is a geographical term, we will learn it. Let's find this river. It's the Euphrates River, my friends. So find the Euphrates River, and go to the west of that, my friend, the west, or northwest, and you have, southwest, the west, okay, but it's kind of at an angle, so which direction is which?
Mm-hmm. So it's all the way over to Cyprus, which is just like
Yeah.
due
Uh-huh.
west.
So west and probably south to some degree. All right, now Judah comprised an area covering roughly 900 square miles at this time. Jerusalem was the provincial capital where the resident governor lived. Soon after 500 BC, discouragement and spiritual apathy gripped Judah. God sent two pivotal figures to salvage the situation out. Ezra and Nehemiah. Let's look at this map. So we have here, the highest little text box says, first Sheshbazzar, then Zerubbabel led groups of Jewish exiles back to Judah between about those years. And along the route, there's that route. I guess that's 1,000 miles. down at the bottom right, Nehemiah hears of dire conditions in Judah and returns to Jerusalem under the royal appointment. He goes from Susa to Uruk and Babylon and all the way across. That's a long ways to go. Sometimes they have direct flights, but it does take a while. In the middle, Ezra leads a group of Jews back to Jerusalem. He was appointed minister of religious affairs by Artaxerxes. So that's where I guess he was at and came on in. The temple rebuilt and dedicated in 520 BC. Of course, that's Jerusalem. And near Memphis, area conquered by Cambyses, Egypt frequently rebelled against Persian rule. All right, so let's finish things off and go home. Oh, we have another class, yeah. Someone read 2 sentences worth.
Ezra arrived in Jerusalem during the 7th year of Artaxerxes. Ezra was a scribe skilled in the law of Moses, who called the people back to their covenant obligations.
He led a group back from Babylon, carrying with him gold and silver granted by the king, in addition to free will offerings from the Jewish exiles. Apparently Artaxerxes appointed him as a minister of religious affairs, in keeping with the general Persian policy of supporting local cults. After reading the law to the people of Jerusalem, Ezra led the people in confession of their sin and recommitment of their lives. And we read that in Nehemiah. That's Ezra. We know about Nehemiah. He was a cupbearer to Artaxerxes before receiving his appointment as governor of Judah. Nehemiah faced serious opposition to his effort to rebuild Jerusalem from Tobiah, Geshem the Arab, and especially Sanballat, governor of Samaria. In effect, the efforts of Ezra and Nehemiah saved the Jewish community from extinction. How would you like to be known as that with that in your history? That'll be okay. Amen. So look at those maps some more, and then those study guides. Start reviewing that. I don't know when we'll have an exam, but it will be before the end of the semester. I'm guessing we'll have 2 exams on maps before the end of the semester. So probably in about, so if we're on week 13 weeks, 6, so in about 4, 5, or 6 weeks we'll have an exam on this. I'll let you know.